What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am excited. I went from 3 hives this spring to 23 hives. Currently, mated queens are, and I'm going. Like, I got 23 myself. And I'm going to show you how I did it. Now, I did some things that other people talked about, and I've done some things that I kind of just thought would work, and some things did and some things didn't. So let's start off by how I got here and what I did to get here. I have started grafting for my first time. The first time I grafted, I thought I did 18, and looking back at the pictures and such, it was 15 grafts, and I had 13 take. So I'm out here. I just got done marking her. This is the first queen that I got that I grafted. Pretty pumped. I am excited. When the 13 took, time they got capped, they took down 3, so 10 capped queens I had my first run. That's pretty excited. I cannot explain how cool and wonderful it is to make your own queens and have them, everything there, and you didn't buy them. They're yours. Like, there's just nothing to explain it. I can't even describe. And if you haven't grafted, you have to try. Now, one thing I did do that totally made sense to me, and it was Bob Benny that talks about it a lot, and another guy I talked to in Wisconsin that does the same thing. They're called double screen boards or snail grove boards. Well, I purchased some of those this spring, and that's what got me going, and that's how I did my grafting and nuke setup. And then I started making nukes, and that was going great, but it took a lot of bees. So then I went down the avenue of 2-frame nukes, and that was fine and dandy, and it worked. It really did. The problem with that is they're useless nukes. So instead, I came up with something else to do it with 5-frame nukes, so this way I can just build some supers and put them on there and let them keep building this winter and have them over in wintered. All it is a board, a divider board, a 1/2-inch MDF that I slide in there, and it's tight, and then I have an entrance on both sides, so this way I can have 2 colonies in there, and there's a lot more room. You could probably get 3, well, it's just shy of 3 on each side, so there's plenty of my sausage fingers room to get in there and take out the frames and take a look without trying to not kill so many bees. The other thing I did was I made a queen castle. So when I'm talking fingers are tight and hard to get in places, the queen castle. There is 4 sections in there, so it's 2 frames per one, and I have it set up for the bees. And currently, actually today, I need to check that to see if I haven't made a queen in there, because today is the day. So it's marked in the calendar. One thing on this whole thing is to use your calendar. I have Google Calendar, I believe it is. Calendar with my phone, so I see it all the time. I can go in there and I can mark down when I have to go look for them, when they're going to be capped, and so forth. And that's the other thing I want to get to tell you is I have tried letting them in the hive, capping their own. I've also put the queen excluder in there, let them fill out. Every time I leave it in there, they get honeycomb around it and they build out. So instead, I incubate them. And actually, what I did the first time is put the cells in each hive. The problem I had with that is some of them were duds. I think there was 2. No, there was 1 the first round, 2 the second, because the second round, I've made a little whoops. But the first round, there was 1 that was dead and never hatched. So I like incubating them now, because when they come out, I can see if there's any defect queens, like their wings, or if they're injured at all, or if they just don't hatch. So that's the route I go now, is I just incubate them with my chicken incubator, and it's super easy and efficient. And so that's something else I also do now, is now when I do that, it tells me when they hatch, I know exactly how many splits I have to set up. So, and it's easy with 2-frame split, because you need a frame of brood and a frame of food, and you're good to go. And if you actually are lucky enough, you can get a frame of brood that has a bunch of food, and then you just put an empty frame in there and they'll draw it out. What I do is I'll find when they hatch, I'll give it 24 hours. Then that next morning I'll go out and make a bunch of splits, wait 2 hours, grab the queen, let her go in the hive, the virgin queen, and they take her like that. The other thing I like about the incubator is I mark all my queens right away, and it is fabulous. It's so awesome. So you're probably wondering also, why do you need so many hives? What are you doing? Well, when I started beekeeping, I said I wanted 100 hives, and that was for me so I can go into a hive every single day. It didn't matter. I had a hive to go into. Well, after I didn't think it would ever happen. There's a mosquito. I didn't think it would ever happen until I grafted. First time I grafted. It's been a huge game changer. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna go to 100 hives. I got to the 23 mated queens and I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay there. 20, going into winter, 20 will be fine. I got 23, that'll be all right. And this is only June. This is still the beginning of June. So I did this in 2 months. I still can't believe it. And only from 3 hives. And there was only 2 of the hives were strong. The other one was weak. I did buy 4 queens and 1 died. They didn't like her and they got rid of her. 3 were fine and dandy until about a week ago and they got rid of that one. So I have 2 from the California Beekeeper, which are doing phenomenal. 1 is a show off and the other one is now becoming a show off. So I can pull splits from them or let them make honey. As you can see, everything is in bloom around us and it has just been crazy. Whenever we get like a couple of sunny days, they are packing it in and filling stuff so fast. So it is awesome. The one thing I want to do is fill out all my equipment. So I'm gonna order wax, which I'll do that video and stuff, and I'm gonna dip boxes. And next year my goal is to sell overwintered nukes and sell queens. So the only problem with grafting, I would have to say, is it's addicting. Like, I mean, really addicting. So I may have a graft going with 30 queens right now. So with that being said, we'll see how many they draw out and goes from there, and who knows, I don't know what I'm gonna end with, but so far 23 mated queens. I am stoked, pumped, and ready. I can't believe it. This is gonna be an awesome year and I can't wait for next year. Shed's also getting a little empty, so I'll be ordering some more boxes. I have to go and get a bunch of plywood and I'm gonna cut down some supers for all these nukes so they can be overwintered this year. I have 100 more frames coming and I don't think that'll even be enough. I was doing the math. I also have boxes in here that need to be assembled and they have frames and everything with them, so I think I'll be fine. I think to save some money also, I'm going to be making my own bottom boards and my own covers because I'm doing everything different. And I'm going to make a video on that for this fall on how I'm overwintering and what I did in the past, in the last 4 years of all the research I've had for overwintering, what did the best in my area. So I'm going to keep doing it that way. So, and I'll make a video this fall and I'll walk you through my overwintering process, and next spring we'll see what comes about. I know for a fact every time I've done it this way that I do it, the best results that I've had in my area. And I've had really cold -20 Fahrenheit for, it was 3 weeks straight, and then we had like this last winter where it was mild and we had a lot of 40 degree days and barely any cold, and they survived. So I'm excited for this fall. The queen that I'm pulling all my grafts from is the queen that I had come through winter. She was a swarm last year, a swarm cell, and I kept her. She went through winter with a cluster about like this, a little bigger than a softball, and she made it through winter, and she's the one who had drones right away. She blew up. Well, no, she didn't have drones first. This hive over here had drones first, and then that one did next, and she blew up and she surpassed this one. So I kept grafting from her, and this one was my cell builder over here, and that's this is how I did it, and I did it all within 2 months, and I didn't think I could, and I surprised myself. First time grafting, I got 10 out of 15. Well, 13, they took down some, so 10 successful, and then, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty pumped. And since then, I have to look to see how many grafts I did. I did 4 grafts. So the first 3 did awesome, amazing. The 4th one, I wanted to try something totally new, and I might as well tell you guys too. I took a frame, put the cups on it, and I grafted right into it and then threw it in the hive. And I had 2 take. And I did everything else the same except for one thing. I did not put that frame with the cups in there 24 hours before I grafted. So I'm doing this 30, and I'm going to graft that. And when I do that, I'm going to put that in. I just put it in. So in 24 hours, I am going to take that out, and I'm going to graft into it. I am just excited. I don't even know how to explain how excited I am. This is the coolest thing ever. And I even told Sarah, if I had like enough customers coming in and enough woodware and everything right now, I would sell everything in my garage and just do this full time. This was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, by far. Glad you got to see me again. Bye.